We'll start with the positives. I thought we did a decent job defending them, even though our 5-man had 10 fouls. I thought we did a good job on the ball. We had 12 steals. We had 17 points off of turnovers, so that's a positive. I thought our pace was decent at times. I thought in the second half we started playing more cohesively. We made some shots. It's no offense is good, or makes it look ugly when you're not making shots. But I thought the second half we did a much better job. We had 9 assists and 4 turnovers. First half we only had four assists and 4 turnovers. So I thought those 2 things, pushing the ball, defending, those 3 things. In the second half, sharing the ball and making some baskets. We struggled offensively in the first half. I thought we had some open shots. We couldn't make any shots, and it just then the rim gets smaller and smaller. Give Alfred credit. The big guy, Valenzuela, gave us problems, gave us our 5-men problems. And they did a good job. Their 5-men, were screening and popping, made some threes. But overall, I thought our effort was decent defensively. We just got to get better in all areas. But we got to get better, guarding the ball. We got to get better rebounding the ball. That's you cannot get out rebounded by anybody. Our goal is to be plus 10 on the backboard, and we lost the backboard today, which is we just can't do that if you're going to win. But we had 48 points in the paint compared to their 18. So there was some positives coming out of it. Now it's watching tape tomorrow with the players and teaching and them seeing it, and then hopefully we can get better and play better on next Monday when it really counts.
You mentioned the bit of struggling offense at the end of that first half there. You have your one scrimmage before this, you have your one exhibition game. How much faith do you have that this is all still going to come together?
All the faith in the world. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have faith. It's just like we have 10 new guys, and we're just trying to get them all together and on the same page. And this was good to play, the first game under the lights, with the uniforms on, and that's what an exhibition game is about. We played everybody, we won, and I think the guys will learn from what they did today.
Any questions for our student athletes?
How was your first experience at the Reilly Center, guys?
It was a great experience for exhibition, for them to come out and show that love and support for us, even though it's not the real thing yet. That's a blessing to have, because not every school has that type of support. So highly blessed for them showing out today for us.
Yeah, same as Dasonte, as you said, highly favored. They didn't have to come on and support us, but they did, and we're going to make sure they keep coming for us too.
You guys are the 2 primary ball handlers of this offense. How do you think you can play more fluid, as a unit as the season goes on?
We're going to put it together. We're pushing the ball. Probably got to cut the turns down a little, but the assist numbers will continue to go up as we play together and get a feel for each other. Obviously, we've been together for a couple months now, but it's a brand new team, and that was only our second time getting out there playing against some new faces. So as we go on, I'm confident that we'll put it together and the offense will start to look a lot more fluent.
Right. Also, we got to learn how to play fast and play control. That's really it.
Coach, Melvin had 10 tonight. Dasonte had 8 with 5 assists. Are you happy with the way they operated the offense?
Yeah, for the first time, yes. We have to get better, not just these 2 guys, the whole team. It's like Dasonte said, they're still trying to learn each other's game, and it's going to take some time. But this was a step in the right direction. And hopefully we can, no one's satisfied. Everybody can play better, shoot the ball better, handle the ball better, play better defense. So, if we're satisfied, we're in trouble. So I think, we got good guys, good players that I think will continue to work and get better as the season goes along.
Melvin, you brought in a certain amount of intensity straight out of the gate with these guys. I know we've heard about how much of a galvanizing factor you are in this team. Just want to get your thoughts on leading this team for the first time under the lights of the real thing.
Just energy. I just want to make sure the guys take the nerves out of them and just be with me, just how I'm with them. So that's really was it going into the game.
And Coach, just the thoughts on Jackson and Melvin's intensity they brought you.
Yeah, that's it's important. It's like the guy, on the ball, if he's aggressive, it brings everybody with him. And if the guy on the ball is soft, then everybody sees it behind him and they become soft. So, yeah, Melvin has great energy every day in practice, and it's contagious. And that's what we continually need from everybody. It just can't be Melvin. It needs to be the entire team.
Any other questions for student athletes? All right, guys, you can go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats on the win. Any others for Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you didn't have a single three in the first half of
Yep.
this game. Is that a number that concerns you, and how can you improve upon that?
Yeah, it's always concerning. You go 0 for 8. But I think we have guys, as I said, I think yesterday in the Zoom call, our guys are always in the gym, and I think they will improve. I think we have some good shooters, and jump shooting is fickle. Sometimes you have it and sometimes you don't. So you can't live playing behind the arc. You got to get the ball into the paint. You live and you win when the ball gets inside. I thought we did a better job. We had 48 points in the paint, 48 of our 63 in the paint. If we shot the ball decently, then it opens up our inside game a little bit more. But our guys are, I'll come here tomorrow morning and our guys will be in the gym working on their shots. So it will improve. But yeah, it was a concern when you're 0 for 8 at halftime.
So what changed from that first half to the second half for you?
I think we made some shots. I think our nervousness, our nerves got out of our system. We got some offense off of our defense. We had 12 steals. I thought our defense, we had some breakdowns. Guys, even like at the last shot at the first half, the guy broke us down and went in for a layup. But I thought our ball pressure was good. We got to do a better job in the post. But I thought the second half, we played much better both on the offensive and defensive ends. And we got points off of turnovers. And that's what we have to do. We're trying to play faster. And when you play fast, you're going to have some mistakes. But I thought, only having 8 turnovers, if we have 8 turnovers, or average 8 turnovers for the year, then that means I'll be really, really happy with that. Because we're playing faster then. And you're going to make some mistakes when you play fast. But at the same time, our guys have to understand, we want pace, but we don't want guys being out of control.
Do you feel like today's game gave you a better idea of what your starting lineup is going to look like?
I'll tell you that tomorrow after I watch the tape. It's just too early. But we know, the guys that are going to play, for the most part. There's guys coming off the bench, and it's going to, we're going to have 10, 11 guys. So everybody's going to have, hopefully their day in the sun, and there's some guys that will play, 10 minutes one game, and the next day they may play 5 minutes, right? It's just how it is, and I think we have good players that are going to accept, playing their role, and that's important. We can't have selfishness. We have to have guys that are going to be happy for each other when somebody else has a good game, because the bottom line is winning. Like even today, in the newspaper tomorrow, it's not going to say that, Melvin Council won. It's going to say Bonaventure won. So that's so important, and our guys realize that.
Do you think that your success or maybe your difficulties shooting today came down to shot selection, or do you think?
No, I thought, there was a couple quick shots, but I thought overall we had some good looks, and we missed. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. And our guys, I think the right guys were taking shots. There was a couple, Xander took one that, was a freshman that, I thought he probably thought he was playing in the CYO game when he was 8 years old. But that's a freshman, and he's going to make those mistakes. But I thought we shot, the shots that we shot, they weren't forced shots. They were open shots, and I expect those guys to take them, and I expect them to make them.
So you touched a little bit about rebounding when you first came in here and how you weren't happy with that number. Yeah. Maybe tell me how you expect these guys to improve after today's performance in that stat category.
Like anything, you work at it. In practice, you block out, you have drills, and you got to be more aggressive. We got to take our guy. It's the 11th commandment. If guys don't remember anything, remember this. It's the 11th commandment, that I shall always block out. All right? And that's what we got to continue to do. All right? You guys know there's 10 commandments, right?
Yeah. questions.
And then my last one for you here, just anybody who pleasantly surprised you today, maybe did something that you weren't expecting, had a great performance maybe you weren't expecting?
No, I thought, no. I thought, some guys had average games, some guys had below average games. We didn't have one guy that I thought played to their capabilities. And so that's the challenge for those guys, and they're competitors, and they know that, and they're going to come back tomorrow and get better and improve.
You mentioned your success in the paint tonight, obviously 48 points, and also the dedication on defense. A lot of that comes down to the sheer size that you guys have at those wing guard positions and at center. Just thoughts on how that's going to translate and how...
Well, it didn't translate to rebounding,
Yeah.
all right? So we got to fix that. But, we had, Alfred is the Division III school. They're not going to have the size that we have. So we should have 48 points in the paint to their 18. That should happen. We got to do a better job using our length to our advantage. It's one thing to be long and athletic, right? But if you're not playing hard, then it doesn't matter. If you're not going to the offensive glass, it doesn't matter how athletic you are. So, we have areas that we have to improve on. We got to become more aggressive. We got to attack the basket more. And rebounding is just, to me, it's hard. The ball goes up in the air, and it's nobody's name on it. The guy that wants it's going to get it. And we got to do a better job of being the guys that get it.
I just want to get your thoughts also on the efficiency of Dasonte had tonight. He only missed one shot from the floor.
Yeah, I thought he needs to be a guy that is a pass-first point guard, right? That pushes the ball, gets into the paint, and distributes it. Now, if the paint opens up, then he can lay it in. And he's really quick, and he had a couple layups, pushing the ball, and that's what he needs to do. But he's got to get people involved, But at the same time, if he can be a guy that averages 8 to 10 points and 5 or 6 assists, then he's doing his job. He's not going to be a guy that we need to score 20 points a game. He's got to get everybody involved, and I think he's capable of doing that.
Any others for Coach?
Coach, you have a lot of guards on this roster. How do you plan on utilizing that going forward when the regular season starts on Monday?
The best guys are going to play. If it's 5 guys or it's 10 guys, the best guys are going to play. We have a number of guys, and they're very close in abilities. So that's why I was, asked that question earlier. Everybody's going to have their chance. And then, once they get their chance, if they do well, then they'll play more. Once they get their chance, and if they don't, then they're going to take a back seat. So that's one luxury. We have a number of players, more players than we've had in the last couple of years. In terms of, there's not a big separation between, the first guy and the 10th guy. So, and I guess that's good and that's bad, I guess. But we got to use it as a positive.
Any others?
Yeah, Coach. You mentioned the defense tonight. Do you expect that to be a big part of the team's identity this year? And I guess who in particular?
When you shoot 3 for 17, you better be a good defensive team. Yeah, we're going to be a full court team, pressure. That's going to be one. It has to be one of our strengths. I don't know how good an offensive team we're going to be. Just with 10 new guys, I think the offense will come as the season goes along. But our staple, it's always been, our staple has to be our defense. If you can defend, then you have a chance in every game, no matter how you play an offense. But if you're not defending, and there's going to be days when we're not going to shoot the ball well, if you don't defend, you're going to lose. So it's the culture here is you got to defend, rebound, and take care of the basketball. You do those 3 things, we call them the trifecta, then you have a chance in every game.
With Miles Rose being a returner, what did you make of his performance tonight? And do you expect him to play a bigger role this season?
Yeah, it's like I said, there's 10 or 11 guys that are going to play. He's going to have an opportunity. Miles he's been in the system. He understands a little bit better than some of the other new guys. But I thought, when he went in there today, he did some positive things, and hopefully that will continue.